necessarily showing up all the way perfect. Does that make sense? So be open to it getting you closer. For me, I made 3/4 of the pay that I made in medical sales when I started working. But if you watch that video from the session in May, I told you I was going to get back there to that income. Fill in the blank. And so the reason that I want you to know that, and the reason that I'm sharing these things with you, is not to impress you, but to impress upon you that what we're going through right now are life principles. And if you know anything about principles, if you apply the principle, you get the result every time. Every time. Every single time. It's like math. Principles. So, turning the paper over and writing down your top 5, there's 3 asterisks. Now, what we're going to do now, because we're kind of creating the outline, and now we're going to fill in the body. When you look at that first passion on your paper, what's yours again, Marty?
Mine is engaging people.
Okay, for Marty, it's engaging people, right? Everybody has whatever it is. So here's what we're about to do. This is the question that we're about to answer. So Marty, you don't have to say this. You don't have to respond. If you do, please do. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So Marty, when you consider the passion of engaging people, now you understand better why you like to do it. Now I want to know how you want to do it. What's that look like for you? When you're fully engaging people, what's one thing that would have happened to let you know, well, I'm engaging people? Does anything come up for you that you want to share?
Well, I think you know when you've got people on board when they do things that they never thought were possible. When they now start to believe in themselves enough, they've challenged themselves enough, and they are better than they ever thought they could be.
Excellent.
I think that's an engaged person.
Excellent. Paul, so this is Marty. So that's one thing that he would write on his asterisk. One of the asterisks would be helping people, what'd you just say?
I think be better than they thought they could be.
Helping people be better than they thought, okay? So now here's the analogy. Let me back up one step, and then I want to go into this again. So here's an analogy. Let's just say we were taking a car, driving from here to Memphis, and you had never done that before. And the only thing, let's just say there was no GPS and no map. And the only thing that you had were instructions that said get on I-55 and go south. If you got on I-55 and went south and you had no co-pilot, what would you be looking for as you drove to let you know that you were getting closer to Memphis? Signs. And what would a sign say that would give you an indication that you're on the right road and that you're getting closer? Right, it would say Memphis, X amount of miles. And then as you continue to drive, what would happen to those signs? The numbers get smaller, and they're giving you validation that you're on the right road. So we call those markers or signposts. We create the same thing when it comes to our passions. We have to create what it really looks like in action. Does this make sense? So that's what those asterisks are for. What's that look like? Does anyone else want to share what's on their line and we do an example with that? Does anyone want to share one of their passions and we do an example with that? So for me, I'll talk about me. For me,